and welcome to Janet being Janet. Okay, so today I'm gonna talk about Without a Crystal Ball and a video that she uploaded, and we're just gonna go through it. So it's gonna be a long one, but I do have to say, if you have kiddos in the room, get them out. They gotta go. You know I adore you, but this ain't something for them. And so we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. And if you just found my channel, make sure you hit subscribe. And if you're over on Rumble, hit follow because I upload something every single day.
Hi, besties. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you enjoyed your long weekend if you're in the United States. I know I did. I spent
You didn't even upload on the 4th. That's weird. Usually you upload all week long.
most of my time outside. But while that was happening, there were some things going on behind the scenes related to the Blake Lively case. Now,
Oh, so you've got the in that we need to know about.
if you know anything, this week is an interesting one because if Baldoni wants to appeal the case, that would be due by Wednesday.
So after Wednesday, she may have actual content back on her channel, but she'll probably still be back over on Tiki Taki.
He would have to notify the appeals court his intentions to appeal. Thus far, there has been nothing filed in that matter. But behind the scenes, it would appear that Ryan Reynolds is driving this bus as
I thought Ryan Reynolds has always been in control. That's what I thought, and still, you know what I like to say about you and Amy. You went over and then you went and backwards with that bus.
it relates to this lawsuit. And why do I say that? Well, I think it's obvious, but Ryan Reynolds is known for being kind of a controlling guy, right?
Right? I think you've already explained this to us several times, but keep going.
His ex-wife, Scarlett Johansson, mentioned that he was very on top of her. Relationships don't work when there's jealousy and
That is correct, but I think somebody in your household controls more than another.
control and not wanting the other person to succeed and having a husband that wants you there at their beck and call and
Shouldn't you be at your husband's beck and call every single moment of every single day right now? Shouldn't you be?
getting upset when you're not, all of these things. And, during the period that he was with Scarlett and along before he met Blake and before his PR cleaned up his image,
Yeah, he had to have his image cleaned up, but Miss Kitey, there's no cleaning yours up.
Ryan was known as kind of a hothead that popped off. And suddenly,
She's always saying, pop off in the comments below.
when he got new PR around the time he married Blake, suddenly he was morphed into this family man that didn't have any of those issues. And he had a wife that was his doting wife that popped out 4 kids for him in the span
Popped out 4 kids. My kids didn't just pop out, they just wanted to stay comfy.
10 years. And his career thrived while his wife, who had been well known for her roles on Gossip Girl and doing some films thereafter, her career all but stuttered, faltered.
But you know what? They've got enough ching ching or had enough ching ching for her to stay at home.
Fell apart. She had a string of box office flops. Her last film, The Rhythm Section, was the biggest bomb ever.
Hey, I thought it was Snow White. That's what I thought was just horrible. Absolutely horrible in the theaters.
In box office history, losing the studio more than $50 million. So,
Ooh, I want to know how much your lawsuit's costing you right now.
so her comeback was important because if she flopped another film, well, it wasn't going to be good for Blake. But Blake's career is only a secondary issue to the ambition of Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, I mean, he controls everything when it comes to everything here lately, according to you.
And Ryan Reynolds' hands were all over this story. And while the New York Times today published an article,
Wait a minute. You done said you canceled your subscription to New York Times. You still going online, though, I hear.
saying that it's a misogynistic cesspool of creators that are attacking and making anti-Blake Lively.
Anti Blake Lively. Miss Kitey is an anti something, so don't you say nothing about anti KJ.
Which I want to preface this by saying it was published as an op-ed, an opinion piece. I think they've learned their lessons, perhaps that making false allegations against someone should be.
You don't say allegedly, you don't say my opinion, you state more of like facts. And let me go ahead and say this is for entertainment purposes and entertainment purposes below, along every line. And I'm just here to have a little bit of fun on YouTube.
An opinion. And so they are putting this under an op-ed, meaning these are the opinions of Kat Tenbarge. Kat Tenbarge, who's been fired from numerous outlets, including NBC News. She also was let go by Business Insider.
Okay, I get it. You don't like this person. You can't stand this person.
Kat has had a long history of being and fraternizing with problematic content creators.
You're one of those, aren't you, Miss Katie? I would have to say so.
And once aligned with numerous content creators that on this platform later were found out to be frauds.
So it's just this platform? No other platform? Because I think you're on another platform yourself, too, actually.
Who she used as valid sources for her content. Kat is someone that finds joy in canceling people, and she's
Miss Kitey, when are you going to stop talking about yourself?
Not satisfied unless people lose everything. In fact, when she ran a series of stories on David Dobrik, she was upset that he wasn't dropped from everything. She was upset that Jeffree Star wasn't.
Ooh, I did a video when I came back about Miss Kitey getting something wrong when it came to Jeffree Star, and she didn't like it, not one bit at all.
Arrested after her piece about him, or that he didn't lose all of his endorsements or products, or his career didn't
He owns his own company. He has a yak ranch.
Get completely shuttered. When she was with Business Insider, her favorite thing to do was to cancel YouTubers under this platform of social justice.
We've been trying to cancel you for years, but you know what? I've always said you've got cracks that you slip through.
Warrior. Now, I'm not a conservative, so I'm not trying to be political here.
Ooh, go political. Go political, because every time you do, you lose subscribers and followers.
I'm just saying that's what she did, okay? And now she's published a new article under the op-ed, meaning this is not fact. It's her opinion.
I wonder when she actually found this. Was it today? Because then she has content for the day, but this is supposed to be about Ryan, and I don't hear Ryan right now.
And she's regurgitating the same talking points that were already reiterated by dozens of other pieces on dozens of other outlets.
Kind of like what you do. You like to use information that you hear on other channels, and then you bring it over to your channel, and you'll just sometimes state it as your opinion as well, but you don't like giving credit.
That she is just putting out as her own opinion. Is it really your opinion when every other outlet has the same opinion? I'm just saying.
Hey, you got to ask yourself that question, because I've heard your opinion on a couple of other channels as well.
But she cites a YouTuber. I'm not going to say their name because...
Why? Go ahead and say it. I mean, if she cites them, that means their name is going to be in the story, right?
Quite frankly, I don't know who this person is, and I don't want to give them attention. But she says that this is a misogyny slop ecosystem in which pop culture sleuths on TikTok and Reddit gossip.
And you like to be over there on Reddit as well. You're just everywhere, Miss Kitey.
Pounds like Perez Hilton, and even the press junket reporter Shasti Flaw, who's
Ooh, Shasties are friends, so let's see how she butters her up.
awkward 26 interview with Miss Lively exploded on YouTube last August. Pump out weekly or even daily anti-lively content that net
Anti-lively. That's what Miss Kate is.
millions of views. Their theories often wind up in outlets like the Daily Mail. Now, I don't know if you know who Shasti is, but
Yeah, I know who Shasti is.
she has a channel that her video where Blake was really rude to her when she congratulated Chris Shasti congratulated Blake on her pregnancy.
I think everybody saw that clip. It was everywhere.
Well, she was promoting the Woody Allen film Cafe Society, and Blake's like, "Oh, congratulations on your bump." And Shasti wasn't pregnant. It was really rude. And then she basically ignored her the entire interview. She's been trying to frame Shasti as a part of this smear campaign. And
That's all Miss Katie talks about now is the smear campaign. But as you can tell, still no Ryan.
the reason why I'm bringing her up is because her name is in a record that was uploaded and filed in court yesterday. And
Ooh, okay, so what that means is Miss Katie finally had some kind of something that she could report on for the day.
to date, Shasti has not been subpoenaed. It's odd to me that she's the center of everything, and yet they haven't subpoenaed her. Why?
Well, aren't you jealous you haven't gotten one? Because you're a big star on Blake, aren't you?
If they believe that Shasti's video that she had with Blake is the center of this smear campaign and that she did it on behalf of someone else, why haven't they subpoenaed her and asked her directly? Is it the
So why haven't they subpoenaed you? Because you've gotten a whole lot of followers over this, and you are constantly making any kind of videos you can, even if it's clickbait.
same reason why the New York Times didn't contact her and ask her if she was part of the smear campaign? It seems odd that they're subpoenaing, Candace Owens and Popcorn Planet, Andy, and Perez. And Perez, as of yesterday, said he is still not.
Hey, I think I may be mistaken, but I think I saw a video of him dancing with his daughter and, pretty much just blowing off the idea of a subpoena being sent his way.
Received a subpoena. Andy has and Candace have, and both have adamantly denied they've been paid or to do anything or orchestrating anything for anyone. And
Don't you talk to him? I thought you talked to him, so if you do, you should know whether or not they were paid.
both have said that they were going to vigorously defend their sources, right? And I
And not Miss Kitey when she gets in deep water. That's the first thing that pops out of her mouth.
keep thinking, why aren't they subpoenaing Shasti? Why aren't they?
Would you stop wanting other people to get involved in this? Maybe she doesn't want to be subpoenaed.
It seems strange. And this was her response to this. Kat Tenbard's recent New York Times op-ed claims to spotlight misogyny in media, but instead reads like the one-sided defense of a Hollywood star with a highly curated narrative.
Oh, so she made a post, and what you're doing is reading the post because you don't have anything private.
Ryan Reynolds. By painting independent creators and journalists as part of misogyny slop ecosystem.
And you do understand, Miss Kitey, all you are is a YouTuber, right?
The piece reduces valid evidence-based scrutiny to clickbait outrage.
And so far, that's all this is.
All while ignoring the real power dynamics at play. I've been covering this case not out of hate, but out of belief and accountability for powerful men and powerful women. When celebrities use legal threats, strategic lawsuits, and coordinated PR to silence criticism.
Okay, Miss Katie, is that all you're doing is giving criticism? I don't think so, because you upload way too many court dockets and you read over every paper you can possibly get.
It's not misogyny to ask questions, it's journalism.
And Miss Katie thinks she's a journalist.
What's troubling is how quickly criticism is now refamed as abuse.
Don't say that word. You're not supposed to say that word, but you're about to say a lot of words that you don't need to say.
If it doesn't serve the approved narrative. The Times could have taken the opportunity to explore that complexity. Instead, it amplified one side's version of events and dismissed all dissent as part of a toxic ecosystem.
You are very toxic right now. Mm-hmm. Because over on Insta, you're posting a bunch of stuff about Gypsy, so people are going under that, asking you if you're still covering Blake and Ryan, because you made a drastic switch.
That kind of framing doesn't protect women, it protects power. And finally, it's worth noting that one of the central voices quoted in this article, a YouTuber known as Ofi Doki.
Okay, is that the YouTuber you didn't want to mention? Like I said, it would be in the article if that's what you were reading.
Has repeatedly used my copyrighted content without permission. After I filed a copyright infringement notice, her content was removed. That's who the Times chose to elevate as a feminist authority. The irony speaks for itself.
Okay, so now, Miss Katie, I need your opinion on all this.
So I agree with Shasti there. And
Well, of course you're going to agree with her. Daggum, Miss Katie.
I actually think that she's an incredible journalist. Think that she's seeking accountability for herself, seeking accountability for what they've done to her.
And you don't know what an accountability is. You'll say something, it'll be wrong, and you're like, oh, well, I'll just make another video. Or instead of making a video, I'll go over to Insta and post that something was wrong.
Because they're dragging her into something that she has nothing to do with. Her name.
But I thought that she didn't get a subpoena. Ain't that what you just said?
Continues to come up on all of these legal documents, even today. Documents filed yesterday in court. Her name all over it, along with other creators.
And what all creators? I want to know names. I want to know channels. You should know all this.
The narrative here is that anyone that posts content that is critical or perhaps unbiased to Blake and Ryan is somehow a part of a misogynistic ecosystem.
And you were just downright toxic. Like I said, over on Insta, people are starting to see the real Miss Katie, especially whenever she's talking about Gypsy and how she's right about everything.
Online. I had a teacher one time tell me that when you...
Oh, quit putting yourself in every single one of these. You don't need to. We've heard so much from you, and it's usually a lie to cover up a lie.
Don't have arguments, and you can't fight with an argument. You resort to name calling. And misogynistic slop ecosystem is a hyperbolic name calling of someone. That's...
You call people names, don't you? I think you do. Y'all just wait.
That's it. When they can't fight based on facts and when they reduce themselves to ignoring court records and they refuse to read the court records.
And that's what you do best. You don't explain them, you read them.
And they criticize those of us who do and say that we're crazy for reading these records. Like, why would you do that? Why would you want the facts? You just are all misogynistic because you
need to really state when you're saying a fact and when you're not.
You don't want to, because you want to be informed. That, my friends, is propaganda.
My friends, what happened to Bestie? We done got degraded. We just, come on, we're just getting pushed down the totem pole.
And it's called gaslighting.
Yep, Miss Katie knows all about it.
And Shasti's name was on a filing along with other content creators. And I said last week that Ryan Reynolds has exposed himself as to being behind this, right?
You say right all the time, but yes, you repeat the information from this video to this video to this video, and it gets really annoying.
Because he claims that he was the CEO of Van Zandt, who obtained all of the records from Jen Abel's phone, okay? And he claims he's the CEO and that there's no women on this company.
Man, Ryan's starting to look really rough. I mean, he's probably had it.
So is it really misogyny? Or is Ryan Reynolds using his wife as a shield for payback? Is he jealous? Does he view Baldoni as a romantic rival?
All right, I guess we're getting into Ryan finally. I just caught the end of this.
These are questions we still don't know, but something.
You. Almost every single one of your videos has I don't know. If you don't know something, don't make the video.
Showed up in their search terms that they want the people, two of TAG employees, to search for on their phones, that I thought, that's a weird thing to search for. What does that have to do with a smear campaign?
You search all kinds of stuff. Sometimes I'm like, I wish I could see her search history, and then other times I'm like, I don't want to know what's on there.
An attorney representing one former employee of the agency group and a current employee of the agency group who worked for Melissa Nathan and a part of her team. They said that they would be willing to search devices.
Yeah, cell phones, right? That's the main thing. And you still want Taylor's text, but I haven't heard you talk about Taylor in a while.
Based on a very narrow, limited of Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Justin Baldoni. It ends with us, IEWU, Betty Buzz, Blake Brown.
And she's going to read every single one of these.
Aviation, Mint Mobile, Maximum Effort Productions, Wayfair, and Sarowitz. So they were proposing they would search for these on the two phones or the digital evidence for these two people. Well,
that's what I thought. It was just the phones.
Their attorneys are basically saying that they need more time because late last week, they expanded Blake's team, a drastically expanded search terms.
I thought you said that Blake's attorney was probably going to quit because she changed law firms. That's what I thought you were talking about.
And that they would agree to an extension through July 14th. And they have not had an opportunity to review everything that's been taken from their phones because they don't even have the data yet because the third party, the vendor that they're using, hasn't provided it to them.
You got to think it's going to take a long time to go
through.
But it'll take a long time to go through people's cell phones and get the information that you want, because I'm sure you can't just go ding, ding, ding and have what you're looking for.
They apparently, Blake Lively wants all of this information so she can prepare for her deposition, which is interesting because usually when you prepare for a deposition, you're preparing for the evidence that the other side is going to use against you, not the...
Miss Katie knows all of this. I think she's gone through discovery. She's gone through this. And I don't even know where she's at this moment. The last time anything was said is she was happy to go to trial.
Evidence you want to prove your case against them. But I want to note that what she wants and what they're proposing, that these two former employees, one former employee and what, the current employee provide to them, and the search terms that they want them to look at, I thought was kind of...
Okay, so I just caught the end of this, like I said, so I don't know if we're about to get into this, but hey, I've already issued a warning to you.
Wild. I mean, for instance, there's a lot of stuff here about a marketing plan. I believe, and I thought that the marketing plan was what Ryan Reynolds did, right?
How are you marketing yourself right now? Oh, through multiple social media sites, right? Every time you're posting about Gypsy over on Insta, you're not getting hardly any engagement.
It would seem that Ryan is offended that people didn't like his marketing of the film. They didn't like the way that he treated domestic violence by...
You're not supposed to say those words. I know I'm going to get dinged, but I'm telling you that we're going to get into this.
Turning it into a joke where they talked about florals and did these cutesy videos where they made cookies together and minimized the severity of what the film was about.
Well, in the beginning, you were on Blake's side, weren't you? That's the one you were standing up for.
Tried to reframe it as a rom-com and confuse people. And book readers know what this book...
Oh, you've got to plan out what you're going to say.
was about. You can't confuse people. You simply can't. You cannot
You are confusing the crap out of me by titling it one thing and then going off on this long tangent of another.
confuse people about what they've read. They know what they've read. They know what the book is about. But then to say that it's a rom-com and it's really about, being with your besties and it's a movie for everyone, even children.
No, I haven't watched the movie. I will not watch the movie with the way Miss Kitey is covering it. I want nothing to do with that movie.
Would never watch that film with my son, by the way.
But you did watch the film, right? You did, right? I'm going to ask you, right? Because you're talking a lot about this film, and if you ain't seen it, no, ma'am.
But there's some things in here that they want, and it would appear that it's not about Blake. And in fact, the smear campaign that Blake says is about her marketing of it. But who was the one that created and drafted the marketing? Ryan
Reynolds handled everything. Miss Kitey will repeat it from this video to this video to this video. I don't think she has content.
Reynolds. So is the lawsuit really about Blake, or is it about Ryan and his marketing company?
I thought this thing was about you saying Ryan thought quite positively, allegedly, that Blake and Justin had something going on. I thought that's what this video was supposed to be, but obviously I'm wrong.
Really about sexual harassment, or is it about his...
A lot of words you're not supposed to say, but we're going to anyways.
Marketing company getting criticized by the wider public. And the wider public weren't aware at that time that it was his company doing that, by the way. So he wants them to search for marketing plan or market or marketing or marketed or markets. He also wants them to domestic violence.
I know I'm going to get dinged. I know I'm going to get dinged, but I'm still going to let y'all hear what she's got over there.
Or DV, or victim, or hope. Or
victim? I'm never going to get over that.
Or triumph. They also want discussions about lawsuits and Brian Friedman. They want them to search for Megyn Kelly, Candace, Billy Bush, Andy Signor, Popcorn Planet, Perez Hilton, or Mario.
Ooh, where is Without a Crystal Ball? Where's that one at?
Lavendaria, or Shasti Flaw, or Perez, or Sarah Nathan, or Bazooka, or James, or Jim, or with 50 Bazooka.
See, Miss Kitey, you are nowhere in here.
Red seat. Please search the following as recipients as well as such terms as Candace Owens, Billy Bush, Andy Signor, Popcorn Planet, Perez Hilton, and Mario Lavendaria.
Does it make you mad that you are nowhere in the headlines, nowhere in the paperwork, nowhere in stories, nowhere? Does it bother you at all?
So it's weird, right? Like, why?
It's not weird. Yeah, people don't trust you sometimes.
Does he care about these content creators? Why haven't they subpoenaed Shasti?
Why haven't they subpoenaed you, right? Yeah, I told you I have to interrupt her quite a bit because we all know she'll ding me.
On this document, they want proof that they communicated with Shasti, and they will find none. But they don't want any proof that they ever talked to Shasti.
So Miss Kitey, from what I get, talks to Shasti. So I guess you would say she has a little bit of an inside.
So what does that say? How can Shasti's video be a part of the smear campaign if they don't even want proof they talked to her? They also want information on Scooter Braun. And here's where things get really interesting. Very interesting. In a bullet.
Hey, is this where we get into the no-no words? We get into the no-no words somewhere.
Point, the second to the bottom, there's a series of topics related to harassment. Okay.
Yep. And we're going to read them out, aren't we, Miss Kitey? Y'all?
And in it, it says firing or apology or apologize. Firing. Who is getting fired? Apology or apologize. Is that related to the claims against Ryan Reynolds?
I have no idea, but you sound like you're questioning it right now instead of just telling us.
Firing, wouldn't that be him getting who got fired? How would anyone get fired? They weren't sex, consent, kiss, lip, or assault. I thought they said that they never brought up the fact that there was sexual assault. Why are
We're not done. Mm-mm. We're going to see how many words she can say. And if you heard that slopping, it's my blind dog. She drinking water.
they discussing assault? Touch, gaze, breastfeed, breastfed, breastfeed, childbirth, or nurse, or pregnant, or partum, like postpartum.
Let's just keep going, Miss Katie. Just read them all out instead of just putting them on the screen for people to read themselves. It sounds much better when it's verbal, right?
Right? Or genitalia,
Right.
penis, or porn, nude or nudity, or
That P word, the P that sounds like corn, you're not supposed to say that.
naked, or intimate, or intimacy, or objectified, or defame, destroy, payback, or revenge, or cancel, or target, or discredit, or ruin, or abuser, or hurt.
Do we have to continue this? I mean, seriously, you know the rules and you know you're supposed to do SH. You're not supposed to say assault. You're not supposed to say words like that.
Or criticism, or criticize, or toxic, or problematic, or nightmare, or victim, or difficult, or crazy.
Yeah, victim and difficult. Yeah, that's you 100%.
Or nuts, or worst, or birthing scene, or bitch, or slut.
What did I tell you? We ain't done.
Or cunt.
Yeah, we ain't done.
Or boob, or affair. Affair.
So, did you make this entire video because of one word?
Bully, bullied, princess, diva, mean, whine, whining, fat, weight, diet.
That is a lot of search. No wonder why they still have the phones and they ain't gotten back to anyone.
Chub, or thin, or skinny. Hoover, or Jenny, or Slate, or Isabella, or Farrar, or Brandon, Sklenar, or Plank, or Hassan. Why is it?
Are we done yet? Are we? Because what you have just put on your channel is what I just put on mine.
The fair on there? And why is assault on there? What does that have to do with sexual harassment? Are they trying to collect evidence of a discussion about an affair?
Are you asking a question about if there's an affair or not? So, from what I'm gathering right now, all of this was necessary and this video's necessary because of one word, affair.
Is Ryan trying to figure out if there was an affair because he doesn't believe his wife? Is Blake searching for evidence that an affair wasn't exposed or an attempted affair was exposed? What does an affair...
Why are you making this video? Why are you making this? Your content has been, I don't know, for a while now. Are you out of content? I'm just wondering. I started covering someone else because of the simple fact of you ain't content.
Have to do with retaliation for sexual harassment. The fact that so much of this is not about sexual harassment.
You know what bothers me? Is she said that C word and it just rolled off her tongue.
But instead about content creators and whether or not she was difficult or had an affair with him. And so much of it is about the marketing.
If it's about the marketing, why in the crap are we talking about affair?
Who do you think is really behind it? Who benefits the most for the marketing?
Are you going to tell us, or is it I don't know? You're frustrating sometimes, and then I just laugh at you.
Ryan Reynolds. Who did the marketing? Ryan Reynolds. Who would be offended if the marketing wasn't received well? Ryan Reynolds. Who took over the marketing from Sony? Ryan Reynolds.
I get it. Ryan took over everything. You've already covered this probably 200 times.
Blake would know if there was an affair, wouldn't she? So why do they need to search?
Blake would know if she had an affair. Pretty certain Blake would know that.
Search for affair. I'm telling you guys, Brian's behind all of it. Well, Blake is likely a part of these decisions and working with Ryan. It's clear that, to me at least, Ryan is one driving this bus.
So does that mean you're going to stop going after her so much and you're going to go after Ryan if you say Ryan is in control of this? Is that what's going to happen?
And he's the one that's offended that his marketing company has taken a hit, that they put out a really bad campaign that sparked a ton of backlash and was something that
I can't wait till all them people over on Insta, realize the whole gypsy thing and how deep you got into that. And I'm wondering when your gypsy content is going to make it to your channel, because gypsy content does pretty good.
Victims of domestic violence were hurt by, and they found it dismissive of them. And so instead of him taking accountability and possibly apologizing,
will you take accountability that you said that word like absolutely nothing? It bewilders me sometimes how you can say certain things and you're just like, you don't even give trigger warnings. I mean, you don't.
Two survivors, Ryan himself and his company. Instead, he wants to flip the narrative, right? And he wants people to think that, no, Blake is the victim and he is the victim.
Because they're the ones doing the lawsuit. Captain Obvious is completely in the chat.
I mean, he even wants them to search for Wrexham and these one-off businesses, like his investment in a racing company, which has nothing to do with Blake. It's obvious to me that this is a lawsuit of Ryan Reynolds against Baldoni because of...
So then stop with Blake. If it's obvious to you, stop with Blake. Blake is over. Now it's all about Ryan.
As Ryan has said, he's jealous and he wants what Nice Pool has. His gold-plated guns and his dog. And Ryan is...
pretty sure you can't say that word on YouTube either. Like I said, I hope this doesn't get taken down before you're able to see it.
The mastermind. He exposed himself today. How does this correspond or correlate to the content creators? It's simple. Ryan himself has said that he uses deflection as a maladaptive coping mechanism.
You're reading things. That's what you're doing. You're just not putting it on the screen. When most of your content now is, I don't know, asking questions or documents.
He deflects what he's done onto other people, and he admits that it causes him trouble in his own life.
And you need to learn how to take accountability for the things that you do, but you won't do that. You're like,
that's what maladaptive is, right? So
I still don't know what this video is about. I'm being honest with you. I don't know. If you know, leave it in the comments below, because she's all over the place.
He uses a strategy of deflecting what he's done onto someone else. So for Ryan, he wants to deflect his choice, his marketing, onto, the criticism of the marketing onto
what do I know? I don't know nothing. I just cover these videos that you do because you're not doing nothing.
Traceable smear campaign. And most importantly, he also wants you guys to believe that any criticism...
Now we're just guys. We're getting demoted. We were besties, friends, now we're guys.
Some of him is from a misogynistic group of haters that are going after Blake Lively because she's a woman. When the truth is if Ryan had chivalry, an ounce of it in his bones,
if you had any kind of anything in your bones to make you have a conscience, you would be doing great. But we all know you don't have one.
he would stand up and make himself known that he's the one that started this. It's his jealousy and his rage and his parents.
Yeah, we're gonna hear a few more things about Ryan, most likely in a few upcoming videos. But I wonder if she's panicking because of how close it is that this case could, just fade away.
Paranoia and his anger and his narcissism that continues.
Yeah, we call you a narcissist. It just happens.
To fuel it. And he continues to try to discredit and target content creators through subpoenas.
And remember, you are a content creator. You are a YouTuber and nothing more.
And then uses, the feminist journalists like Kat Tenbarge and Taylor.
See, it sounds like Kat is a big, huge subject here. She should have just named it that.
Taylor Lorenz and Stephanie.
I thought she was about to say Taylor Swift, and I was going to tell you leave that woman alone.
McNeil to post and publish regurgitated propaganda.
Do I even have to say anything? You hear something on this channel and Miss Katie will cover it on her channel. And, everybody believes it's just her unless she says something about an attorney or something she's been watching.
And asking them to ignore critical thinking and court records. Is that, as Shasti said, the approved narrative? I think.
Are you asking questions still? I have to ask so many questions of you because you ask so many questions.
So, and I think the more we learn about what they are looking for, it's clear. It's Ryan and his ego and his narcissism.
I thought it was an affair. I thought that's what we were looking for. I thought Ryan was jealous.
And his jealousy that are after Justin Baldoni. And Shasti is a scapegoat, and they will never.
But I thought they haven't subpoenaed Shafty yet. So, I don't know what you're doing over there, Miss Katie.
Make me believe otherwise. Are you shocked about this?
I'm shocked about where your content has gone. I still can't believe the words that just roll off your tongue.
Tell me in the comments below.
Oh no, I've told you throughout this entire video, and I've asked you a lot of questions.
Make sure to give this video a thumbs up.
Yeah, if y'all don't mind, like the video if you like it. If you dislike it, hit the thumbs down. If you want to subscribe, you know where that button is. Or follow.
Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click the
Hey, I already said all that, Miss Katie.
Bell so you never miss a video.
And turn that bell to all on my channels because, like I said, I don't know what I'm going to upload.
Thanks so much for watching. Bye, bestie.
She done said bye, besties. So now we're besties again. Yay! But what did y'all think? I seriously want y'all in the comments section. Seriously, do you feel the same way I feel? I don't know what to do with her anymore. One word is a 20-minute video. But that's what's happening, and she's getting the views, which means she's getting ching. And as everybody says, she's got to pay her lawyer somehow, right? I don't know, though, because like I said, I stay over here. But I hope you have a good day, night, weekend, holiday, year, whenever you might be watching this. And remember to smile today or make somebody else smile, because it really can make a difference. Alrighty, guys, y'all go find that mirror, smile into it, and have a good day, night, weekend, like I said.